stats and all of that stuff, let's go into this best of 5. To the bottom right hand side, our red Terran player from Makers. This is souL. On the top left hand side, our blue Zerg Nerchio. As we get into the first game of this best of 5 series. Kicking this off and looking to see what's going to happen. Nerchio, I'm very intrigued as to how Nerchio's looking late in the game now, because actually Nerchio used to be so good late in the game. And that's why souL will not be afraid to go either, I don't think, in this series. He'll be, I think, very happy to come in towards a some kind of later game setups and to play along. In fact, souL loves, he played a really good series against Raynor about a month ago in the WardiTV European League, where the first game was just ridiculous. He played the most insane kind of long game on this map against Raynor, and he won at like the 40-minute marker. It was a really sick game. And it's definitely the kind of map where you can get that to where that can happen. I mean, need I remind you guys, yesterday souL versus Bly was the first series up on the main stream or so, and it was an extremely long series as well. The first game, 40 minutes long on King's Cove. And you can definitely expect that style from souL, because he will just sit back and kill you slowly, rather than throwing an advantage when he gets too far ahead. And this is actually kind of big for souL as well, because souL here in the round of 24 now, he has not really been a player who hits round of 24, round of 32 a lot. In fact, I would say that souL is kind of a player who is very underrated. Because he's so good online, but he's so bad. He really underperforms offline. For example, WCS Spring, Group Stage 2 elimination. WCS Winter, Round of 32 elimination. Katowice, Open Bracket elimination. Last year he didn't go to Montreal, but when he went to Valencia, Group Stage 2 elimination. Group Stage 3 elimination in Austin. Group Stage 2 elimination in Leipzig. It's not what you expect from souL. You expect him to do better. In fact, his best result was back in Montreal in 2017. That was when he showed up and he got to top 16. And I mean, again, you kind of expect that from souL a lot more often. And that was top 16 off of a much weaker Group Stage 3 as well, by the way. He beat Probe and Jig to get there. I mean, again, it's not the most crazy Group Stage 3 you've ever heard of, right? You know, when other groups, players like Uthermal and Lambo and so on were dropping out. So, souL's never really had great performances offline, but in this event, he's been absolutely killing it so far, which is just so good to see. And really excited to see what souL can bring for us here in these playoffs. I see that Reaper gonna get taken down in the main base. He just tries to pick up some information. Obviously, Nerchio is a veteran when it comes to playing these events. Missed the consistency of the last couple of years, but again, so far in 2019, it just hasn't been his year at all. He has not really performed too well. The Evolution Chamber from Nerchio in the back of the natural Stimpak. Starting up from souL on the main base with 2 more barracks also being added into play here. So getting those couple of extra barracks up and running. And again, that Evo Chamber just coming in on the back of the natural. 3rd hatchery from Nerchio. Going to drop in on this right hand side. So getting that 3rd hatch up and running. Couple of queens on the way up. Carapace upgrade from Nerchio also going to be coming through. So again, some marine heavy opener, which is what this is with the faster barracks, etc. He is the Carapace actually helps a lot, because obviously you take a lot more hits on your lings than you deal. It also maybe means that Nerchio hasn't quite decided what he's going to play in the mid game yet. Could still obviously switch into roaches, where that Carapace upgrade will help those out as well. So just a few possibilities here early on. As we do have that command center building on the 3rd base. I mean, again, souL pretty safe to defend that here. I mean, it's just this one ramp up towards the 3rd, so he's pretty safe in general. A few Hellions just peeling away, and again, the other queens just showing up to try and push the Hellions back a little bit there on the way up in the natural expansion. Again, Stimpak coming through, a couple more medevacs on the way out. Refinery is dropping on the natural as well. All of this getting set to go. As we do see again, those queens able to push those Hellions away up onto the high ground. 12 Marines coming up the right side. Gonna be able to unload over here in the next few moments. Depends where they want to go. Before they would have unloaded here and pushed the creep spread, but instead it's just going to come through this top. Well, actually, Nerchio just opened a little pathway for these Marines to kind of come through, so that's actually very annoying to deal with, because obviously the Lings don't trade well at all in that little choke point. A few drones going down as well. The Liberator making itself known in the natural. Queen starting to pick away at the Medivacs. First one will go down. This other Queen here gets a good transfuse to keep it alive. It will fall as well, though. Oh, the Hellions are going to show up to protect these few Marines. Loses the Medivacs, but obviously 5 drones with the Liberator makes that 6 and 7. Oh my god, nearly an 8. And the entire drop gets cleaned up, but I feel like you deal quite a lot of damage here as souL. Obviously, losing Marines and Medivacs means your future pushes are that much weaker, though, so that's one benefit from Nerchio for trading out here, but it's just the fact he lost some workers as well. Obviously, does slow things down a little bit, as we do see the Medivacs. Over to the left-hand side. Spire dropping down here from Nerchio in the natural. +1 melee, +2 carapace, Baneling speed, all on the way up at the moment. There we go, these Marines going to begin unloading drones. Starting to pull away, extractors already going down, so first extractor is going to drop, the second extractor too. And that Spire is also going to die here, so Spire will fall. It's a nice pickoff, so it really kind of shuts down Nerchio's tech, really slows him down in terms of what he does on this lair. Oh, these Hellions finally find a time to run by into the third, and what time it is, finds himself 10 plus workers. 11, and there's so many drones on low health as well. He's getting quite a few Lings on top of all of this with the splash damage. 14 drones again. souL is dealing so much damage, and the thing is, once souL starts, he doesn't freaking stop. So we've seen these Marines lifting up over here, have to clean up some more creep spread. He will just keep dropping right now. So the only thing I think is missing is, where are those 2-2 upgrades? That's actually a big miss for souL if he doesn't have... Does he not have an armor yet? He does have an armor, he just has not started 2-2. He needs to get on top of that, because he does not want to give Nerchio an upgrade lead for too long in this game. A really good lift up here on the Marines, minimizing any friendly fire. And those Zerglings actually took quite a big shot to that Widow Mine, so Nerchio again struggling to deal with this. Push on the left-hand side. Now Nerchio might lose a hatchery. In fact, scrap that, he will lose a hatchery. Again, this is all partly because of the denial on the Mutalisks on the Spire. Making those so much later obviously really slows things down for Nerchio, and he should have had Mutas up cleaning this up by now. He should have 15 of them on the map. He's got 1,500 gas just waiting. Now his Spire is done. He's obviously being slowed down by other things. He's actually afraid of this army, so he backs away. He's actually a little bit lava starved as well. Only has 7 lava at the moment up and running. This little drop over here is going to be reinforced. And +2 carapace up at the moment though, so we do have that scenario where the Zerg army will trade a little bit better than usual, but there's still just a lot of Marines against Queens. And they do a very good job. The Lings obviously don't do much against those Marines either in this scenario. And they're able to push up this ramp, going to get even more creep tumors, and at the same time just dropping into this base, but unfortunately lost the Medivac with most Marines inside of it. That's 4 able to pick it off. So Nerchio's starting to stabilize a little bit now. souL's momentum is dying off just slightly here, but that's going to be another Queen kill. Gets it before transfuse. There's super high energy as well. Well, I thought souL's momentum was dying off, but he still has this push on the right side, and Nerchio is struggling to deal with it. souL will stim in. A few Banelings now ready to go. He's going to put himself behind the mineral line once again. Gets rid of a couple of Banelings nice and easily to start this. Good target fire on another Baneling. Now he's going to lift up and go over this side. Try and run away from these Mutas and just trade out again. Best he can. He's going to get some space between him and the Banelings. No space between him and the Bins. He does again a decent job of target fire in the first few. But I think eventually, as expected, this was cleaned up. Well, souL finally gets a 4th base up and running. So again, that's to set up a lot of reinforcements at home. But again, momentum I think is a big part of souL's play, and he doesn't have any of it now. This push absolutely being cleaned out on the top right side, nothing surviving, even the Medivac on the left going down. souL is extremely kind of got to, he's got to play a very slow pace now. He's got to play much slower than he has been. I'm not sure how well that's going to go for him, because again, he really excels when he's able to drop around the map. He's able to multitask. He plays a bit of a messy style where maybe the engagements aren't pretty all of the time, but he's taking so many of them. He's able to really make things happen as you see those meters. Picking away at these rocks, by the way. Rocks will go down. Wouldn't mind if a few Marines going to be unloading his. It's going to be a couple of drone kills, nicely done. Let's up some other Marines there. Still pressing forwards. The Bio Forces going to come all the way through, and I mean, still these pushes from souL. I mean, I keep thinking he's not going to be able to keep pushing. I keep thinking he's going to have to take a break, but next thing you know, he's at it again. Gets another base over here. That Widowmine gets blown up as it tries to burrow. More Widowmines trying to clean up what they can. Nerchio cleans up the army, but he's so far down in supply. Down 20 supply. It's a lot at this stage of the game. Nerchio does have stack defense here to defend from this single drop. This is just 4 bases that Nerchio is working with, and 4 base against 4 base generally doesn't go well as the Zerg, especially playing Lingbane Muta. You're meant to have more bases. You're meant to have control of the map. But again, the Mutas came out so late here, and souL was able to apply so much pressure and great multitasking that just wasn't a thing. That just didn't really happen at all, honestly. He is back down towards the center here. More Widowmines on the way out, and just going to be seeing the medevac of souL is going to get picked off. So medevac will go down again. A little bit of Lingbane from Nerchio. Coming over this right hand side. Marauders in the front, of course. Able to soak up a lot of the Baneling shots. The Muta's actually just going to go after that command center, and these SPs long distance mining on a little bit of trouble. The command center will go down, but I mean, souL just has such a huge army to push across with. Find some of these Banelings moving in right there as well. Obviously, that's just Nerchio with hotkeyed Lings just spamming that Baneling button. Now, souL's at least going to be able to get a base in return, so he's going to keep this 4 base versus 4 base. By the way, look at this. He's like, oh, you know what? I'm attacking the right-hand side anyways now. I'll just expand in location. No fear. A lot of Widowmines coming through. They're going to get set up. Will the Banelings find him? Any of them? The Banelings actually do pretty well. The Widowmines don't really connect on much. And Force still doing a lot to help push the Mutalisks away as well. And so with a few Marines mixed in, those Mutas are just never really trading that well. Now they're able to come through and they're able to start getting a bit more damage done. But I still wouldn't say they're trading well. Like, he's losing quite a few of these Mutas to make this happen. And our Force just kiting away in the medevac. In the end, the Mutas turn back, pick off a few of the Marauders. Liberators showing up can actually be very good against the Mutas as well, especially considering the Mutas are already pretty low health. And the Hive Tech Nerchio going into +3 upgrades and Dreamland Glands too. Just can't really afford the Ultralisk Cavern though, which would be kind of typical next step of this to help you stabilize on Hive before going up towards Broodlords. You just can't afford that at all, so souL continues to set up around the right side. We are going to see these Mutalisks pulling back through the center, and I think in the next few moments Nerchio's going to start bleeding out of this game a little bit. I mean, his Muta count isn't quite what it used to be. He just lost his 4th base. He does have a new base up on the left, but is missing gases. souL's army obviously just keeps getting larger and larger, and while it's kind of that stage where usually I think you need to start preparing for the Hive Tech as the Terran, in this game I think souL is just so far ahead that going into Liberators and Ghosts is just not really necessary. He can just overrun Nerchio, especially because Nerchio still is just on Lingbane Muta. I mean, again, if maybe Ultras coming up, you could probably overrun as well, but maybe you would actually need to get, you know, maybe a couple libs in there or so. Right now, it just doesn't feel like this is necessary at all, though, so Nerchio in a lot of trouble. I mean, his army supply is just not really enough. He's coming down this bottom left. There's no base here, and obviously this is not mined out, so this base is still extremely safe. So just a little drop, gonna start hitting this building hatchery. He's being so good at this. Again, he just always seems to be in the right places with these medevacs, with these units. He just got a kill, not even a cancel, so 300 minerals that Nerchio has to find to reinvest somewhere along the way. souL's getting creep spread through the center of the map and establishing a push. He doesn't even need to go through the direct middle. He can go up this left side into this base over here. He opened those rocks earlier, and that's definitely going to be a very frustrating location for Nerchio to defend. souL's just going to work his way through the base on the far left. He does have the far right set up for himself. It's a base which might not last much longer actually, because Nerchio looks like he's going to hit it, but obviously souL not really in position to defend. But of course souL can go and kill bases of his, of Nerchio in this time. A couple of Widowmines don't do much. SCVs will just pull in to try and repair whatever they can. Obviously the Banelings make that difficult. The SCVs will get blown up here. And that goes the Planetary Fortress, but I mean, Nerchio, yes, you kill the 5th base, but you lose, again, 2 bases of your own, so you're kind of reset to the same position, 4 base versus 4 base. But the Terran's still in a hell of a lead, and considering that neither of them are really able to mine much more at this stage of the game, because they're being restricted to 4 bases each, obviously, Nerchio catching up into souL's army supply is going to take something just shy of a miracle, really. Obviously, you can get into the base up, mine a little bit, deny the base of the Terran at the same time. These are all things that are going to be extremely difficult to do, considering the Terran currently holds the advantage. And the Veins and Muters are going to start rolling forwards here in the bio. Going to start pulling backwards and going to start splitting up. Oh my god, the Widow Mines blow up the Mutalisks in the background. And as the Balins go down, that's GG. souL will find game number 1 of this series. In the bottom right-hand side, in the lead, our red Terran player. This is souL. And in the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Nerchio. Alright, game 2 of this best of 5. Again, I mean, this map is a little bit narrower. It's going to be a little harder for souL to pull Nerchio apart here on Cyber Forest. I do wonder if we see bio every game from souL. He does like his bio, but again, like I was previously mentioning too, I do feel like the kind of the process of kind of killing him is a little bit kind of tough on this map. So maybe some mech could be cool. Mech definitely works quite well on this map as well. The cyclones and so on. We might even see just a battle cruiser opening to begin with as well. We have really seen those come back into popularity as of late. PCs on this map, I'm trying to think how good they are actually. Maybe they're not actually that great here on Cyber Forest. Not a lot of space for them to kind of deal damage and get out. Like this mineral line here is very well protected just by straight up space on each side of it. Kind of the same here, so probably not a battlecruiser build. There's definitely, if you want to do a battlecruiser build, you probably do it later in the series on a map that really is just better for it overall, so. Yeah, getting this set up and looking to see what will happen here in the end. Single Zergling already nibbling its way through that SCV, so the SCV gonna get turned away and we'll be heading down to the bottom right hand side. Link speed on the way up here from Nerchio in the main, and that hatchery on the natural about to finish up as well. Command center on the natural just over halfway done, and the SCV of souL going to pop up the left hand side, run on over, and yeah, see what it can get up to as we do see the single Zergling chasing down the SCV. Factory is going to complete in a few moments time. Again, the command center dropping into the main base, so 3 CC super quickly here. He is going to be just 1 gas, of course, to be able to get this 3 CC up so fast. So souL going to turn this into just a super greedy opener. And we'll see if Nerchio is going to do much about it. He hasn't really seen anything to kind of indicate what this is just yet, of course. First couple Hellions will now start up. It's the lack of the starport then that makes this interesting from souL, and so we'll see how that turns out with the lack of the starport shortly. The 2 Hellions on the way up, the Ling's going over and actually able to pick away an SCV. The Reaper's just over here. The Ling's apparently avoided that, but that Reaper's going to die in a moment because it's just literally just sat here. It's like souL doesn't even remember he had a Reaper this game. Literally just sat there until the Lings show up, and it, again, Ling speed a little bit faster than the Reaper. And losing the Reaper, instantly Nerchio throws down the Rotron. You know what? I really like it. I mean, as soon as that Reaper goes down, you have so little map control. I mean, yes, you've got a couple of Hellions, but you're not able to dive in. You're not able to see this until roaches are moving across the map. And so, Nerchio is now just going to go for an all-in to just straight up punish souL for not having that Reaper alive. And the Reaper should be alive at this stage because it should have joined up with the Hellions, which should have been able to protect it. And even if the Hellions don't want to go on the map, then the Reaper shouldn't be on the map either. It should come back home. It should be with the Hellions, because again, against speed lanes, it's just not going to do anything. So mistake from souL that Nerchio is already looking to capitalize on here. souL getting that starport up in the main base. 2 more barracks being added in as well. Refinery coming up on the side, and again, just a few Hellions joining up together. There's a bunker from souL, so he has seen, or feels like there's a little bit of something going on. And he just doesn't have very many units, does he? Obviously, no full wall off either, so he's got nothing to help him buy time. 1 bunker probably isn't going to cut it here, guys. I mean, the factory's building a tech lab. If you could get up to a siege tank, then maybe. You'll have stim shortly, but I mean, it's also only 4 Hellions. The Roaches and the Ravagers about to move through. souL's going to see this. He needs to pull back. He has to lower his depot to do that. But now the engineering bay didn't go down. I mean, now the units are just in the base already. And Nerchio is just going to, jump straight on that bunker. He's going to come wrapping around with these Lings as well. I mean, the Hellions went down, like 2 of the 4. And so the Ling is just going to have such a good time as well. And this just all comes down to losing that Reaper without properly getting scouting information. The Ling streaming into the main. I'm going to get into a few SCVs. These Marines going to get picked off as well. I mean, this is just obviously disaster for souL. And after a hard-fought game 1, Nerchio makes it quick. Aces Rock qualifiers. So, yeah, Aces Rock qualifiers. He took down a laser in a very long game here on King's Cove. And it's kind of funny. So souL's on the wrong side of the map to demonstrate this, but if you imagine souL is on the bottom right, then I guess on this side, so souL usually ends up eventually kind of like, if souL's bottom right, so I keep seeing him in the bottom right. He pushes up the right and he can kind of goes in towards this thing. Let me just answer the admin quickly here, guys. I can't bring it up. Alright, cool. So, setting this up, getting this rolling, hatchery dropping down on the natural. And gas in the spawning pool coming up here. Getting this ready to go. So yeah, sorry, what I was trying to say. So usually I see souL spawn in the bottom right. So this might be a little bit reversed. But usually what happens is souL will take like, there's four or five bases here. And, you know, then you try and get the forward base. And if it goes very long, what happens is you kind of start fighting over this base here. But because the Zerg wants to fight over this base here, you can actually get this base as the Terran, and you can kind of control both of these bases as the Terran. And then eventually, souL is going to try and deny this base to the Zerg while trading somewhat evenly. That's the goal. souL really just wants to try and mine this base, and deny this base, while mining this base himself. So he wants to try and just, you know, basically stop the bottom left base of the Zerg coming up. And that's how he plays the late game. And the late fights always take place around that base, because again, it's the one base which souL is really reliant on denying to basically get the win condition in the game, which is that the Zerg player has no gas left over, has no minerals left over, has no else to mine from anymore. 4 more Zerglings on the way up. Queen coming into the main base. We do have the Reaper of souL continuing down to the bottom side of the map. So Reaper coming along here. It's going to be a very fast third CC again out of souL. So obviously wasn't content with how this happened in game 1, and so it's going to go for the same again. This is a map where Battlecruiser opening has some possibility to deal damage, so still not going into that. SCVs on the low ground loading to the command center, by the way. It's a nice little way to save these SCVs. Although now they're going to pop out and that orbital is morphing in, so you might have to cancel the orbital to save them again. Okay, looks like he'll just get them up to the high ground, where of course there is a single Marine waiting to save the day. Clutch little lift up at the very end there. 2 Hellions on the way out, and he's able to keep the orbital morphing. Obviously, you don't actually want to slow the orbital from morphing down all too much. So yeah, able to keep this going a little bit is obviously a big help. Couple Hellions picking up more of these Zerglings, so getting quite a bit of damage done. Fast Rotron again from Nerchio, though. He saw the third CC, so he's just like, well, yeah, I'm just going to go and punish you for taking a fast third. So, honestly, I don't understand. Okay, I do understand why souL's built over here. Because if he builds it over here, an Overlord on this side can see it more easily. But obviously, letting the Lings up the ramp like this, well, now Nerchio knows what's up. And again, that Rotron is done, and on 31 drones, we're going to see Roaches building. And again, he lost the Reaper. And so there's no way for souL to scout what's coming his way. And so it's just going to be a complete repeat of Cyber Forest. Well, as 6 Hellions join up on this natural expansion, we will see Roaches going to start heading up the right-hand side. A couple of Ravages on the way in as well here from Nerchio, so getting those up and rolling. I mean, even the Hellions are going out on the map in the wrong direction to see something happening, so this is just going to be, I mean, a real repeat again of just game number 2, where I think souL is in so much trouble. souL probably just straight up dies to this. He has even less preparation for it this time than he did in the last game. So yeah, souL's going to see no saturation on the third base, and maybe that's going to tell him that he's in a bit of trouble here. He starts up a bunker. I mean, the Roaches and Ravages are already up the ramp. I mean, you guys tell me what you think is going to happen in this scenario. A couple of SCVs go down. I mean, there is nothing to really defend. The Hellions obviously just don't do that well. Corrosive Battle's going to start breaking down the supply depot and the reactor. Hellions coming back in from the other side of the map. Obviously, again, Roaches and Ravages just do very well against the Hellions, so those trades are very one-sided. And once the Hellions go down, the Link Flood reinforcements are going to be extremely difficult to deal with as well. Units pressing through. There is 2 bunkers on the high ground here. Maybe souL can hold on with these. If he can minimize worker losses, he does have 3 CC to build up from. But I like what Nerchio's doing already with enough workers killed. Just building up into more drones. Man, after such a convincing first game from souL, he's just going to die twice in a row to the same attack from Nerchio, completely just punishing the fact that souL is, again, losing the Reaper is actually why souL is losing. He's losing his Reaper, and so the game is going down. He's going to stand from the bottom right. The Ling is going to keep on streaming through. He's jumping into the bunker. SCV is going to continue pulling forwards. That's going to be GG. I mean, there's just no good way to cast that, because souL just losing a third and be more active from the start and get the one in as early as possible. It just doesn't work without a Reaper, really. Brutal way to go down. I mean, again, I think, yes, maybe any kind of scouting would be better, but it's just so tough once the Reaper goes down. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just hope we see a better game for game number 4. souL on the top left-hand side again after he was so good in the first game too. It's been a really disappointing way for things to turn in the last couple of games. Bottom right-hand side, our blue Zerg is Nerchio, who is now on match point. Nerchio opens with the Swarm Pool, so he is actually going to be very safe against the Proxy Racks opening, but also could apply some pressure as well here off of this. Has that gas pretty quick as well, so we'll and maybe be able to get something done here early. As we get this set up and ready to go. As SCV Scout will of course see that this is a pool first, so souL will know that's something he has to deal with here, keeping that Reaper at home rather than sending it across the map this time. Might help him because maybe he won't actually lose it. And SCV is going to get chased away by the first Ling. I mean, that's already enough information for souL here. Early though, again, he's seen what he wanted to see. That's the SCV's job done. Now he can keep this Reaper parked up at home. Doesn't have to go across the map with it or anything crazy. It's going to be seeing the factory. I'm going to finish up here in the next couple of moments. The factory will finish, and as the factory finishes up, Nerchio going to bring this Overlord down to sit up on this high ground a little bit. So he's going to bring this over here this way. We just sort of wait to see what's next. Ling speed will finish, but how many lings have we got? Only 4, so it's not really going to be much done with ling speed here at all. Nerchio will just start the 3rd hatchery just before that 3-minute marker, so 3rd hatch coming down. Yeah, all looking pretty good at the moment. So maybe getting a bit of a longer game. I mean, we're not going to have a roach roll in this time at least, so hey, I'm a fan. Well, I say that, Nerchio actually still has quite a lot of gas, so there's some potential for aggression. A few Zerglings going to go to the upper left-hand side, and souL. Well, again, a couple more Hellions just producing for them. They're going to pop out and chase those first few Zerglings away. souL doesn't lose the Reaper for once. I'd be so happy. At least he is going to get the Liberator up though, and again, Nerchio's not going to look to kill him right away. He does start a lair, Nerchio. 2nd gas starts too, so there should be more kind of defense, not necessarily defensive, but more kind of macro-oriented than just a Nidus. It's not free gases for like a ton of roaches. It's not 1 gas for Ling Queen. So it feels like, yeah, just going to be upgrades and roaches, and probably not a Nidus involved here as we get this underway in this game number 4. Liberator coming through at the top side of the map. Just going to see that Stimpack setting up in the main again. A few more Hellions coming out the front. There's that Carapace upgrade comes in on the Evo Chamber. The roach speed starting as well. All of this getting set up and ready to go is just going to play roaches. So obviously does open some aggressive possibilities for him here. A few different options are available as a couple of Zerglings going to nibble their way through these rocks. And these Hellions just going to wander straight into the 3rd base, and a couple of Lings aren't even responding. 7 drones go down, and wow, he barely even lost a Hellion. That last Hellion going down at the last moment there. What a start from souL. Finds 7 workers for nothing at all. Lovely. Definitely a good way to start getting back in this series, perhaps. Definitely a good way to perhaps start getting back into this. We took a couple of shots. Liberator moving around. We got to see one on the top side as well. Probably going to get a Queen because Nerchio just not able to pull that back in time. Again, still trying to kill off these rocks to make tank pushes that little less powerful here on the map. And again, this Liberator being pushed away is now going to be coming through the top side of the map. So Liberator pulling back through the top, and yeah, we see a couple more medevacs, siege tank, 1-1 upgrade, Stimpack, all of this finishing. Pushes will start up. Look at this, by the way. Nerchio, souL was actually scared of Nerchio Nidusing, so he even had a bunker in the main. 2 bunkers on that. He's actually very afraid of an attack. I think because he saw the roaches and so on. But obviously there was not aggression really lined up there. Well then, souL just sends his 3rd base out into location and salvages the bunkers on the low ground too. 1-1 upgrades continue to come into play. He's already got Stim, so we're getting to that stage where souL can start to be aggressive. And again, like we said in the first game, once souL starts to get aggressive, his momentum is what you got to watch out for, because he will just go again and again and again. Let's see if he's going to get the Zergling here on the 3rd base. The 2 medevacs. A lot of Marines inside. Going to start to unload. Creep will continue to press through up this high ground. Oh god, Hellion's just running by for 5 drones as well. I mean, that feels like it just shouldn't happen at 7 minutes in the game. Nerchio, because he's got back dealing with those Hellions, it's going to lose the 4th base. Not even a cancel. Oh, Nerchio. Things are not going so well for Nerchio here in this game number 4. So definitely getting a good start to this game. Now Nerchio's going into +1 missiles, +2 Carapace. Just making a lot of roaches, and I wonder if his plan is to just move across the map and to try and end this game in the near future. Just gonna see the Sentinel building up on the third base, and again, Roaches and Ravagers continue to come into the middle. These Marines unloading, gonna be able to press forwards, and already a creep tumor going down. Nice little pick off there. I mean, never drop was heading out, but I think souL realizes just how much Nerchio's thrown at him. But I love this defense. He's got bunkers set up, and he's going to pull SCVs as well, because he knows Nerchio is quite committed to this attack. Sometimes it is just the sort of attack you need to pull SCVs to deal with this for, and obviously they can repair the bunkers, etc. Bunker on the low ground goes down, though, so souL's going to lose its third base location. Those tanks on the high ground were just a bit far away. Nothing was really covering the third here, so he's lost a little bit to start this off. Nerchio with a strong push to begin with. Binary goes down. Plus one melee coming up in the back of the natural here from Nerchio too, so getting that going is 16 more lings on the way out. He has got Baneling speed coming up as well. souL brings his SCVs from this bottom left side back to the top right. He's going to be able to get that base mine once again. Now he does load up those drops once more, and will try to abuse the lack of mobility of this Roach-based army. Nerchio going back up to a fourth base, double expanding even at this point in time, so he's looking to re-establish himself after dealing some damage. Just slow souL down that little bit. Just that tiny little bit, so that's a job well done. There's a few more SCVs going to transfer over to the third, and there is this medevac wanting to come into the third base, but not quite going to be successful. Marine's going to find this bottom side base. Instant cancel from Nerchio. He's happy just to have the one on the top side surviving. But he's also setting up quite a large attack into the middle of the map. There's a few Roaches over here that can defend this, so souL can load up. He should go into the main base. He's also hitting this top right-hand side. souL probably has to pull away from his third base once again. Here we go with the fight breaking out. Ravagers are going to come forward. The tanks are stacked, so corrosive bowels will get rid of tanks very efficient here, but no corrosive bowels being used yet. Finally, they're going to start setting up. SCVs pulled in to try and help defend. The drop in the main is not going to do a lot, honestly. He did get the base on the right, so Nerchio's down at 3 bases. Very, very all in with this push now. Tell you what, souL has a fourth base building into a planetary here. Could pull back. With only Ravagers left over, those Ravagers do die pretty quick. These Marines are just continuing to target the hatchery, and Nerchio's just running his Roaches past this. Oh, Nerchio, no! Just move command and pass. He tries to drop a transfuse. Is it going to be enough? No, it won't be. Nerchio with a huge mistake there. Loses his third base. He's down to 2 bases. Now dropping the main, as souL is not letting up at all. There's still fights potentially to break out on the top left-hand side as Nerchio 2 bases and extremely all in at the moment. Nerchio is in a lot of trouble, and he might be forced to a Game 5 in this series now. He might be forced to a Game 5. Marines are going to stim out into the middle. Roaches and Ravagers coming through the top side here. Nerchio supply blocked. The Siege Shank going to set up here from souL, so going to get that ready to go. Marines going to stim down this ramp. Multiple Ravagers going to go down that top side, but it does mean he gets rid of the tanks in the center. Nerchio. Say, well, Nerchio will be in more trouble soon when souL gets 2-2 upgrades. Look at that from souL. Another stim going to go straight through the middle of the map. Marines dropping into the third base at the same time, so drones are going down. And we'll just then lift up and again look to fight again another day. souL did lose the third orbital, so that is a big loss for him, having lost that. But obviously he has this fourth base up, so it's something which helps him to stabilize in that situation. Obviously having denied so many bases of Nerchio, that's a big positive for him here as well. Marine's going to sim it around the side, and they're going to go and again kill this hatchery. So fourth base denied. At least Nerchio's third base is up and running. So we're seeing a little bit more creep still pushing out into the middle of the map. +3 missile attack. Not missile attack, +3 attack for the Terran coming through. He's going to take the main orbital over to this third location, so gets a bit more mining off of it. Obviously, it is a bit more exposed, but this was generally going to be an orbital in this place anyways, so it's not like it's defending something you weren't expecting to defend in the game. 2 medevacs around the left-hand side as Nerchio, 55 drones, still just making a lot of units at the moment. Actually, there's quite a bit of creep on the bottom side of the map. souL currently lining this drop up towards the main. Especially as Nerchio is trying to push the top side. He drops towards the main base, just catch this army out of position multiple times over already. Good turns to target down a couple of Balins. There's the drop in the main. Nerchio not responding to it just yet. Third base location lifted. The fourth base obviously is a planetary, so can't lift, and the SCVs are going to get blown up. Nerchio will take down the base and the mineral line, but at the same time his main is under fire. Spawning pool looks as though it will go down. Oh my god, and the fourth base as well. So Nerchio gets a fourth base kill, only to lose his own fourth moments later. Again, the drops from souL are outstanding. He's about to kill the main base too, by the way. Oh my god. souL's drops have dealt so much damage this game. Now Nerchio is once again reset to 2 bases. This is not how you want things to be going at all. Again, has to rebuild the spawning pool also. Extremely painful as we're going to be seeing those medevacs of souL back to the top left-hand side. He's rebuilding this 4th base in location, by the way, so setting up into the 4th. Pretty crazy stuff at the moment here, as we are going to be seeing souL trying to see what he can do in the next few moments. Ravagers and Banelings setting up as well now in the center, but I'm not sure what Nerchio is going to do to try and end this. souL is about to have +3 attack upgrades as well, by the way, so he's going to be even better when it comes to attacking. Another hatchery. How many hatcheries have died this game, guys? 6 and a less. 7 bases killed this game by souL. That's actually genuine. That's genuinely impressive. A lot of miss cancels as well from Nerchio obviously doesn't help. souL able to re-establish the siege tank count. Also will help him take some of these fights. I mean, this is a great start to this fight. The Banelings don't even get close enough to the Marines before they get killed. And souL grabs a good few pickups right away there. Still have Roaches and Ravagers of Nerchio coming around the top. souL going to pull back into the center. Tanks and Marines just join up together. One center in the middle of the map, getting ready to go. You see Marines. Gonna lift up into that medevac. Gonna boost away down towards the main. And the CC gonna finish in a moment or two. We see more Marines trying to fight here. Roaches and Ravagers from Nerchio pulling back to the upper right. Here comes Nerchio's army through the center. Oh, nice try to try and catch this medevac, but just a little bit off, unfortunately. What main base, asks the chat. Yeah, what main base? Doesn't exist anymore. Nice catch, gets a Ravager as it spawns. This isn't a planetary fortress yet over here, so souL does actually have to go and respond to this. Does not want to have to cancel that plan. He would like to keep that alive, and he will do so. souL's army supply is starting to creep ahead of that of Nerchio's. So Nerchio's traded much worse this game as well. Resources lost a 5,000 difference in this 16-minute game. And souL has just been so good at continuing to drop. He's been so good at continuing to apply pressure. We'll see this army coming in again. He has a couple of tanks set up. Planetary Fortress obviously will help a little bit as well. Marines against Ravagers do okay, but there's a few Roaches to help tank. SCVs are going to keep repairing the planetary, and I think the planetary survives. Oh, it's going to be close. It's starting to go down, but the corrosive it will fall. But he lost a lot of Ravagers trying to make this happen. At the same time, Nerchio does not have enough to fight that main army. These guys start pretty quick for this game 5. Sorry, we do have to run the ad breaks, otherwise we don't really make much money on these streams otherwise, because everyone's... It's one of those streams where usually everyone's watching the main stream and they kind of have this stream open on the side, so don't get many subs or anything. Which is all good. Just happy to be here casting some good StarCraft 2. So the top right, our Red Terran is souL, tying this up, and honestly, winning the more impressive game so far. To the bottom left, our Blue Zerg is Nerchio. His 2 wins, if you're just tuning in, came from both times souL going 1 gas, 3 CC, losing his Reaper, and Nerchio, as soon as he kills that Reaper, just throws down the Roach Thrower and goes for an all-in that souL is just unable to scout. So that's what we've seen Nerchio do to win both of the games on the scoreboard for him at the moment. That last game got a bit hectic, a little bit crazy. Obviously, Nerchio made some mistakes to allow souL to take control of the game a little bit more easily. But I do feel like souL had the right idea a lot of the way there. You see the SC going to pop up in towards the main. Queen is going to be able to... Whoa! Oh my god, that was actually so sick. He pulls the 2 drones. They're going down to the low ground anyways. They actually block the SCV. souL's got to be wondering a little bit like, huh? Why are you trying to hide from me? And he did see one worker on the gas, so maybe not that much. Well, I'd be a little bit concerned if the Zerg had pulled drones to stop my SCV, but it was actually just a cute play because the drones were kind of headed down to the low ground anyways. Reaper coming down in the bottom left then. So you see the third hatchery dropping down. Nerchio going to make a few lings to help defend that. He has a few of these lings already across the map, but nothing to kill on the natural expansion, unfortunately. So he's going to hop up with his Reaper. Again, I just really hope the Reaper survives this game. Like, he's lost the Reaper game after game so far. It would be nice for him to be able to keep that alive this time around. The lings, oh my god, they don't actually see the Reaper either. So Nerchio's kind of looking forward, but he won't find it. As Nerchio starts up a pretty fast lair, this Reaper could be huge for the scouts. Even this Overlord is going to be... Oh, it might just clip the Reaper position. It's going to be super close. It's going to move a bit further. No, the way the landscape changes means the Reaper still stays hidden in that corner of the base. Wow. Well, again, that's going to be huge because even being able to scout this Ling, Queen, Nidus all incoming in. One gas, lair on the way, Ling production starting on 31 drones. It's all of the signs of this all in. He does see a few Lings in the main, but that's about it, actually. So he doesn't see the Nidus in the main, or the lair in the main. The souL actually is still a bit blind to this. He's going into Hellion and Banshee as a setup. One of the big things about defending this is just to stop the initial Niduses coming up. If you can stop the Niduses, the Queens can't really come across the map. Queens are what really power up those Zerglings, otherwise the Hellions just deal with the Zerglings very easily. As you see this Banshee heading down the bottom side, so it's not going to be staying kind of defensively at all just yet. So the Hellions also coming across the map. So is walled off. He's about to see all of these Lings in a moment. The Nidus is about to complete. Good spread from souL, looking in the corners of the base. He sees no saturation here, and I think, again, instantly, that's a sign that you turn around, you go home, and you play defensive. Two bunkers, one in the natural, one in the main. Love the position of it. He sees the Nidus coming into the main base already. He'll go to defend the Lings on the natural. Very well done here, as we're going to be seeing. The Nidus will be denied before it finishes. And that's a huge first defense. Oh no, the T-Bow's down! Lings will get in. That's actually not the end of the world. That's manageable for the moment. But he's going to leave the T-Bow down again. Even more Lings are going to get in. He cancels the bunker on the natural. Well, now a lot of these Hellions die, and that is an extremely questionable moment for from souL. As Nerchio now will pour Lings and Queens out the front. Now there's not the Hellions to shut down the Ling count. My god, and then it goes canceling that bunker. Oh my god, I mean... No, what a disaster. Oh dear. Well, SCVs are going to start repairing up this command center. This natural has to lift up as well. A couple of supply depots will be cleaned up in souL. He's getting a siege tank here. I mean, honestly, still dealing with the Queens is kind of the bigger problem at the moment. You can see those Banshees stacking up to try and come in and get some shots off, but it's really tough. Queens are very good against Banshees here. The siege tank will help a lot, but I mean, now Nerchio is already droning up his third base back at home, so throwing that up, getting that going. There goes the siege tank. I will be able to, again, turn those Queens away. souL should be able then to retake the natural. He does have a third CC as well. Can he do this without getting the creep spread on top of the natural? That'd be really nice, because creep spread is going to make life even more difficult for him. Just going to delay that third base, natural even longer here. Banshees will go across the map, but there is a Spore Crawler in position. And the first Banshee that comes in that gets hit is actually already kind of low, because it was the one that took damage from the Queens. SCV is trying long distance. Mine are actually dying to Queens as well at the moment, so Queens are just picking up even more kills. Stim is done, but then the Lings are there to try and dive into this if the Marines go too far forwards. So you have to be very careful right now as souL, as you have to try and break out of this without losing too much. But again, with the creep continuing to spread, it's making life difficult. The Banshee on this side of the map, one of them went down, so there's only one Banshee left as well to harass with. Two siege tanks, and there's the scan. He wants to get rid of these creep tumors. Needs to kill the creep in this scan. Cannot afford two scans to get rid of the creep. We'll get rid of, I think, enough of it to be able to take the command center again. So souL's natural will be back on track in a moment. Nerchio has gone up to 50 drones during all of this now. I like this drop from souL setting up. Nerchio's just gone mass drones at the moment, so it may be a way for him to get some damage dealt. If he can deal some damage, brilliant. Then souL is going to instantly bring himself into a bit of a stronger position. 7-4s, even if you just find these 2 queens, I mean, 14 lings on the way, they only just started in production, so actually this base is going to get ransacked by these Marines. They're going to get a good few drone kills. There's 2 already. And then obviously the medevac pulls back. How many can he get? 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this wasn't bad at all, actually. 6 workers killed. That's the sort of damage you need here as souL. Get yourself back into this a little bit. Nice scan out the front as well, and we'll be able to get rid of a lot of this creep spread. That Nidus network too. Obviously the creep working backwards for Nerchio. It means that it's kind of going to connect in the middle of the map, so this creep's going to be really strong this game. This drop comes out once again. Tank's coming over the right-hand side. You see a little bit more creep being cleaned up here. The third orbital coming up to the top. I'm so confused by this Roddy resub message. I don't get it. You guys memeing about the time I raged on the Twitch chat, nerds? There's that clip. Todd loves that clip, I think, where I just absolutely go ape shit at these guys in Twitch chat. Thanks for the 33 months, Roddy. Lings up to the top. This orbital is burning down. And is taking quite a bit of damage. Marines pressing through. Creep getting picked off. And a lot more zerglings up at the top side. We are going to be seeing the, the tanks continue to come down. You guys loved it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Marines going to push these zerglings away. This hatchery going to be... getting picked away. We do see the lings. I mean, this orbital is still burning, so this is a problem, but souL has a strong push down on this bottom side. I mean, Nerchio's army supply is just lacking a little bit, and that is his problem at the moment. He's got so many of these units trying to, you know, deal damage across the map. I mean, this is always the weakness of Nerchio's setup here, where souL was able to, you know, souL's always going to have a strong army, and Nerchio's composition is just not quite there because the, you know, the rest of the tech is delayed. Marines are going to get this base. There is bases on the top side as well, though, for Nerchio, so he's not done for just yet, just because this base goes down. This was a good push from souL, but he needs to get this third base up. But, because he gets the third base up here, he will be able to now push this side of the map very easily. And that could, of course, bring him some potential gains as this game continues. Okay, well, these queens are going to be able to get rid of this medevac, so medevac will go down. souL just not reacting to that in time. Banshee shows up on the unprotected third base. No Spore Crawler. Well, Muta's popping out. The Banshee does uncloak, and that's going to be a savior running out of energy for Nerchio. That's actually so good for Nerchio. Otherwise, this would have been all of those drones going down. That's actually crazy. As Marines and tanks pulling back up the right-hand side. The Lings, the Mutas, continuing to set up in the center. And again, 1-1 upgrades continuing through here from souL. So still getting this ready to roll as we see Marines and tanks. Again, just going to pick up another couple creep tumors right now. Medevac's going to come over, and they will be able to jump up to the other ledge. Well, Nerchio with the meters puts himself in a bit of a stronger spot. The upgrades are going to be pretty evened out at the moment. souL getting that third base really makes this a hell of a game now. Really makes this a hell of a game that we got going on, and Nerchio still has a good amount of creep. He's getting a fifth base back up and running, so that's going to be strong for him. Maybe still just has a bit too much of a lead for souL to really come back from here. souL played very well, though. He did all the right things to keep this game dragged out at the moment. He's going to come in and go after the factory, go after the racks. Reactor is going to go down, and just going to be seeing the reactor instantly rebuild. And the meters come in and get a second kill on the reactor. Why not? Again, more meters coming down at the right. Still got a lot of meters moving around at the moment. 2-2 upgrades coming up from souL. Infestation bit starting from Nerchio in the main base again with some more Marines. Stemming down the left-hand side, we see a lot of creep spread being cleaned out at the moment. Nerchio going to run in towards the mineral line, so he's going to be able to pick off a lot here. This is where souL is obviously going to struggle a lot to deal with this. His tanks are out of position, and I mean, the Marines on the high ground holding off those lings quite nicely, but suddenly 22 SCV is lost. This is the kind of economy that's going to be hard to get back on track, especially because Nerchio just has so many bases of his own, and souL is, again, really struggling in that regard. Muta's going to be moving back out into the center here. Marines coming back through. More Zerglings getting picked off as well. And we're just going to be seeing as the Mutas come over to the left-hand side. Siege tank goes down. A couple more SCVs. This army of Nerchio going to morph in more Banelings. It feels like he's got control of this game at the moment. Just going to keep this momentum going. souL salvages a bunker that's probably not going to do much to save the day anyways. The Lings and Mutas will get the SCVs as the Banelings force the Marines back. 48 SCVs killed and souL types GG, well played. And that's going to be Nerchio moving through to the